I'm going to talk about nutrition. Okay, so all the diets that I've tried so far. So let's just start. The first one that I want to talk about is the low carb, which is the most popular one. And I would do this. I would just reduce the amount of carbohydrates. I don't even know how to say it properly. So the rice, pasta, bread, I would bring it all down, and then I would just increase my vegetables, and that was about it. I didn't research much about it. I just know, okay, low carb, let's just take it off but before I did the low carb, I did crazy diets. I did the soup diet. I would eat soup all day, or the juice one, the yogurt, the cereals, the porridge. I would just do crazy diets, okay? But then once I started exercising and I grew up, I started researching more, and then I decided to try to see which one I enjoyed the most. Because every time people would come with a new diet, and I would be curious about it to see how my body would react and adapt to it. So I would try. That was the low carb. The next one I tried was the Mediterranean one. The Mediterranean was easy to follow, and was basically similar to the low carb I was doing, because I then just introduced the fish, and then more cheese, olive oil, but it was very similar because I wouldn't eat a lot of carbs anyway, okay? But it's a very fresh diet. The other diet I've tried was the ketogenic diet. That one I didn't like because it had a lot of fatty food, so a lot of meat, pork with bacon, and the ketogenic diet, it's going to make your body use fat as energy. So I tried it for 1 week, and I felt sick. It was not the best for me. Then the paleo diet. The paleo diet, I was confused about the ketogenic and the paleo. So the paleo, I can say maybe I tried it for 3 days. No, the paleo I did it longer. The ketogenic, I think I did it only for 3 days. But the paleo I couldn't keep going because it has a lot of restrictions. So you had to eat more of wild food, a lot of organics, and then also the grains that you eat, there's only a few that you can eat. So there's a lot of restrictions and a lot of rules, and because of my lifestyle, I couldn't keep going, because I would have to follow. And here in Belfast, I wouldn't have access to the type of meat that would fit in on the paleo. But for people that eat meat, I think it actually is a good one to follow. The other one, let me see on my list so I don't forget anything. Oh, the other one I tried also was the strongman diet, which is because of a book that I read. And the strongman, it's a type of intermittent fasting. You fast all day, and then you do one meal in the afternoon, which is a big meal. And that was a hard one for me to do it because I would crave food all day, and it was a little bit of stressful. So I couldn't do it. And then it's getting at the end of the day and eat a lot of food. Something is in me said this is not right, because stressing my body, giving a lot of food all at once, it didn't sound right to me. So I didn't follow it. The one I love it, and I still do it, and I will always do it. It's intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting. When I started, I was eating from 12 until 8, and I saw a lot of benefits. In 2 weeks, I was really lean. My body was amazing. My skin, everything. I really loved. And one of the benefits is also give time for your body to heal itself, to digest the food. So I kept that. That's something that I kept, and I still do it. Although now I don't follow strict times, I just follow my body, and I follow my organism, my biological time to eat. Okay, I eat when I'm hungry, that's it. But I'm never hungry before 12, so then sometimes it's at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, it depends. Then the other one I tried, oh, I remember now, is the blood type. I've tried so much, that's why I had to write it down, so I didn't forget. This one was the first I tried it, because the doctor that suggested this type of diet, it was because we have different type of blood. I have type B. There are people that have type A and O, and he said there are certain foods that are not good for a certain blood type. So I said, okay, this is interesting, and it actually makes sense, and I decided to try. There was a lot of food that I would take it off, but I actually didn't feel so much the difference, because, for example, he said that type B shouldn't consume avocado. I didn't feel, when I eat avocado, I don't feel it makes me sick, or it makes me or any other type of the food that he was referring on the chart. I actually didn't feel that it was harmful for me, but maybe I shouldn't do it longer. But then I got into vegetarian, because I was sick of eating meat, and then I was having some kidney, or I think it was kidney issues, and then I decided to stop eating meat. So I started taking the red meat, then I got tired of eating chicken, and so it was natural. And then once I started watching documentaries about animals, how they suffer, and how the environment and all those things, it was really easy for me to stop eating meat. And then I stayed with eggs for a while, and then I started watching more videos about how they treated chickens and the eggs and everything. So I dropped the eggs, and I kept the cheese for a while. And then with a lot of struggle, I finally took the cheese and decided to go vegan. But one thing that when I went vegan, I realized is that I would crave then junk food. And that was one of the things that I was judging vegans, but because when I started realizing, I said, okay, vegans don't eat meat or animal products or ware or anything, but they eat a lot of fast food or a lot of processed food, because I would see a lot of recipes that they would share in different channels, and there was a lot of processed food. And I was still also craving the cheese and sometimes the egg. And then spiritually, I was asking myself, did I jumped very fast? Was I ready for this? Am I rushing things? So I had to do like a spiritual conversation with myself. But then I realized, and also the vegan, it's really restrict. I would feel like I had a vegan police right here saying, oh, this has milk in it, this have eggs in it, and I'm like, oh my god. So it was a lot of pressure, and I wasn't ready for it. But instead of going back to vegetarian, I decided to go raw. Okay, so then I started slowly to introducing more raw food. Okay, and then I started watching videos also about sun gazing, fruitarians, breatharians, and all that made me realize that the way we eat is related to our evolution of our consciousness. We don't just it looks like we just trying diet randomly, but for me, now that I see, it was actually an evolution according to my consciousness. Every time I was seeking more foods that would support my body and myself better, I would change to something else. But then one thing I've realized in this journey, with all this change, with all these diets that I've tried, is that we cannot only just wish to do what other people's are doing. Because, for example, there are people, like I said, there are breatharians, there are people that are doing sun gazing, are people that are only eat fruits, others that only are eating, and I tried them. I tried a few of these things, and I realized that I cannot forget also the place where I'm living. I'm living in Northern Ireland, which is a cold place, and when it comes to eating fruit, it doesn't make sense because I'm in a cold place and naturally there's no fruits like bananas or papayas and mangoes growing here. So if I'm eating that, I'm sending a wrong information to my body, because we have to eat according to the season. So by being here, I should be eating more vegetables, maybe more, and that's what took me to research about yin and yang foods, because as a Pisces, and also according to the weather, which is yin, also I'm yin, my element is water, which is yin. All that has an impact on my energy, because if everything is energy, we need to, then we start looking at food as energy source. Okay, and when it comes to sun gazing, I have a few days of sun, but also there's a spiritual journey also that we need to consider. So at the moment I went back to vegetarian, so I bought cheese and mayo, but I'll take the mayo again, and maybe I'll just keep the cheese, because one of the things that on the microbiotic diet, I think that's how they say, the cheese is a yang energy, and now I'm trying to introduce more yang energy, and doing my meditation and feeling what is the next step, and what, instead of just following or rushing the process, because it's like, oh my god, there are people out there just breathing, they're not eating, and I'm like, okay, I want to try, I want to do it, but there's a spiritual process that person went, and for me, I see everything as a potential, and I'm like, if that person can do it, maybe all of us, we can do it. So we should just try, but it's not quite like that, because there's a spiritual process, there's some cleansing, and we have also our own path spiritually. So now I'm not rushing things. I'm just eating according with what I feel is right for me, and I'm also respecting the season I'm in. So it's winter time, I'll eat things that are more warm, things that relate to the time, to the place where I am, and is related to my energy. Okay, and also the amount of food is also related to the activities that I do. So this is how I want to end this video, is to let you know that, is to tell you that the food that you eat is related to your consciousness. As you start taking better care of yourself, and you're more in tune with your food, and you start watching food as an energy, and that's live energy that is supporting your body, supporting yourself. And but if you're not there yet, that's not a problem also, because like I said, it's an evolution of consciousness, but it doesn't mean that something is less good or more good. It's just a stage that we are, and we should eat according to what we feel is right for us at each stage. So I'm not saying that one is more important or less important, or one is good or no. It's just once we start learning more about our body, about nutrition, about energy, about how the relation with the food in our body, we start expanding, we start looking for more, we start feeling more, we start being more aware. And it's in that way that I want to say. So there's nothing out there that is prepared for you. We need to study ourselves, know ourselves, eat according to the season that we are, eating according to what we have available, around us, or eating according with what you actually need, what you actually feel you need. So for example, I tried a fruitarian diet. It doesn't make any sense for me where I'm living, because when it comes to fruits, it's more to help you being fresh. You feel, that's how in summer you feel like eating fresh food, because it helps you. But in the winter it doesn't make sense. So as much as I see people out there in YouTube and Instagram doing it, and it sounds very cool, but it doesn't make sense for my lifestyle. So that's what I want to say. Do something that it makes sense for your lifestyle, for your consciousness, for the lifestyle that you live, for your truth, and make it your own. Don't just follow standard things. Personalize according to you. Okay, so another video. I hope you enjoy it. I see you soon.